What's up everyone, I'm OBG for TastingSkills.com. Welcome back to part 2 of the 3 parts of the Firestone beers. Now, if you haven't listened to part 1, I suggest that you go down. I put a link there so that you can follow from the start. Now, today we're doing the Velvet Merkins. There's 3 different vintages. Before we get into these beers, what does actual Merkin mean? Well, Merkin is a wig for a woman's private. This word goes back all the way to the 15th century. That's why this is named Velvet Merkin. It's supposed to be smooth and silky. All right, so let's get into these beers. And if you want to catch the future episode where I'll be covering all of the anniversary beers that I got, you should subscribe. All right, now on to look at the technicals of the Velvet Merkin. The first one is a Milk Stout 2018 Bourbon Barrel Aged, and this has an IBU of 25, an ABV of 8.5%, and only 475 cases were produced. Then we have the Velvet Merkin Oatmeal 2018 Barrel Aged. This has an IBU of 21, and the ABV is 7.5. They only made 6,700 cases of this 2018. And then we have the oldest vintage, the Velvet Merkin Oatmeal Stout 2017 Bourbon Barrel Aged. This has an IBU of 17 and an ABV of 8.5. Only 8,000 cases were made. Now, when we look at the packaging of this, I mean, this is just classic Firestone. They really haven't changed their packaging. They give you all of the technicals on it. Which I really appreciate. Even the case count, I mean, they're really doing a great job of explaining what they're actually doing. And for me, I appreciate it since a lot of times we don't really get all the ingredients or we can't even find the IBUs. And I mean, that's just basic information that you should be giving out when you're making beer. Now, let's take a closer look at the tasting notes, but before that, do you want to taste like a pro? Head over to TastingSkills.com, put your name and email into the magical box, and I will send you my free 17-page guide to the fundamentals of tasting. But we're not done. If you'd like to get a sober hat like this, or if you'd like to get a beautiful sober t-shirt, then you can also head out to TastingSkills.com, and there, if you use the code I'mOBG, you will get free shipping. All right, now on to the tasting notes of this beer. Starting out with the Velvet Merkin Stout 2018 Barrel Aged. On the color, you get dark to brown with a brown rim. On the nose, you get the classic stout nose with coffee, chocolate, all kinds of roasted notes into layers of bourbon barrel, and this is subtle and complex. On the mouthfeel, it's velvety and it's not overpowering. This is all about subtlety, and the stout mocha layer drive layers of the acidity, and this is lengthy. And in the length, you get this mouth-watering, never-ending, coming back for more. This was really good. I mean, the Velvet Merkin 2019 was complex, subtle, lots of little layers. The acidity really dominated this beer and pushed out a lot of different things. This isn't like an over-the-top, out of control like the previous show that I did where those beers are just huge and big and over the top. This is very, very delicate on the nose and on the palate. All right, let's move on to the Velvet Merkin Oatmeal Stout 2018. The color, you get dark to brown with a brown rim. On the nose, this is very closed and subtle, and there isn't much on here. Yes, you do get some of the notes of the stout and some hints of the coffee, the mocha, the chocolate, but nothing that really stands out. On the mouthfeel, it's kind of flat, and this is once again all acidity. It's missing richness, and you usually get a stout that should be very present. This one for me was disappointing. I was hoping to get something bigger that had more layers. I'm still trying to find what's in the glass. I mean, I took a break, I opened them, I tasted them, I took a break, I retasted them because I wanted to make sure that I do justice to these beers. And for me, the 2018 Oatmeal Stout was just a disappointment. But let's take a look at the 2017 Velvet Merkin Oatmeal Stout. The color, same as the previous, dark brown with a light brown rim. On the nose, once again, this is delicate, subtle. It's lacking aroma and richness, and the nose is kind of flat. On the mouthfeel, it's also kind of flat. This is all acidity, and yes, I would like to see more richness, but I really can't find anything, just like I did did with the previous one. Now, I'm not trying to trash these beers. I feel that the 2017 is just over the hill and there's no richness to it. It's all acidity, and that's what just drives this never lengthening acidity. Yet those layers really don't deliver all of the mocha, the richness, and the coffee and the chocolate that you should be getting out of a stout. Now, this was mediocre at best. All right, let's do a quick recap so you can see what you should buy and what you should pass on. Starting with the Velvet Merkin Milk Stout 2018 Bourbon Barrel Aged. Now, this was good. I would buy the 2019. It's a buy, but it's a borderline buy. Then we have the Velvet Merkin Oatmeal Stout 2018 Bourbon Barrel Aged. This is a pass for me. I think that it's over the hill and I would not pursue to find this. Then we have the Velvet Merkin Oatmeal Stout 2017 Bourbon Barrel Aged. This for me is dead. This beer just did not deliver anything compared to the previous beers that I covered in a previous show, and you should go and check it out. But for me, these are just passed over the hill. I am not trying to trash them. I just feel that there's something missing. This is an amazing brewery. They make amazing stuff, and yet these are just dead in the bottle at this point. All right. I'm OBG for tastingskills.com. Please remember to smash that like button. And don't forget, if you want to catch the future episode, which is part 3, I'll be covering all of the anniversary beers. Then you should subscribe. Otherwise, my friend, please remember, stay sober. Peace.